The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. All right, we're going to start out the day with looking at the German DAX and the FTSE. Both of those are acting pretty nicely. On the downside, you can see the retracements that they had. The FTSE had a nice Gartley pattern up there, and the DAX had a nice retracement. They've started to back off a little bit. Whether that'll continue or not, we'll have to wait and see what the market's going to do. One thing I would like to do today is some people have asked me, which is good. They want to hear more about the history of what I've been through and all this stuff, and I'll certainly do that. But before we get there, let's take a look at this NASDAQ, because that's been the leader of the pack, and so I watched the leader to see how it's doing compared to the others. Folks, if you remember, I talked about the importance of 10,040 yesterday. You'll notice that was the first 382 rally, and when we went above that sent the market up another point to 10,120. The 618 was 10,140, and last night we came down and we touched that 10,040. That's the importance of that number, folks. They come back and look at those numbers a lot. So that means if we get below 10,040 today in the NASDAQ, that would suggest it was going to be going lower. So that's the main thing. You'll see the big three drive to a top pattern up here that we had at 10,300. Then we had the sell signal came in at 10,240, and then you see the market came down, made a double bottom there at 9,099, looks like a 99.90 or 99.10 or something like that. So that's where those are the numbers. You can equate them to the S&P. The S&P had a triple top last night. If you're looking at a 15-minute chart, and again, I'll defy human nature and we'll do the work yourself. Okay. The first story, let's get started. How lucky I really was. Let me tell you, boys and girls. I took that job with Drexel Burnham Lambert on August the 1st of 1976, and I had never been a broker before. They said they were going to take care of that. So my first 2 weeks were spent in New York City, and it was very, very, I was just overwhelmed because here I'm a little boy from Terre Haute, Indiana. I lived in L.A., so, I had some, a lot of fun and stuff, but I had never been to New York. I'd been to New York many times when I worked for Eli Lilly because I was a liaison between J. Walter Thompson and Eli Lilly when we were getting ready to promote cephalosporin antibiotics, which I did for, about 10 years. That's how long I worked for Lilly. Anyway, I got there, and of course, they put me up at the most exclusive hotel in the city, and I started my first day. The first thing they did was they sent me to a salon to get my hair cut and my nails done. I had never had my nails done before by a manicurist. And after that, a young lady met me, and she said, "We are going to, get you set up with your clothes." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, we have to go to a tailor." So they sent me to this tailor, and she picked out 7 suits for me and 12 dress shirts, all white, different collar styles and stuff. This was all custom-made stuff. And I said, "Who's paying for this?" And she said, "Don't worry about it." She said, "Drexel takes care of everything." And so I did that. And then on the second day, I started to study for the first exam, which my Series 3. Back then, when you did the Series 3, remember, folks, this was 1976, and the CFTC didn't start until 1975. So it was really, it was really a good, a good start. Anyway, what I did was I finished all that stuff up. I finished my Series 3, then they give me another series that I didn't know, and I finally did that. And then the rest of the time, all I did was a study for the one other exam that I had to take. I don't remember which one it was, and that was the first week. And the second week, I started to meet all the executives, Tubby Burnham, the owner of the firm, and Fred Joseph, and he was in, and John Coffin was in charge of the legal department. He's still on the board of the New York Stock Exchange, I believe. Fred Joseph passed away a few years. So I finished up those 2 weeks, and I came back and started to work for Drexel Burnham. I had my own office and stuff, but I had not been involved in a corporate thing like this for so it was really really a bit different experience for me. But when the one thing they told me is that look, we just want you to do what you did when you were doing your own stuff and you were buying soybeans and stuff. She said, we just want you to trade these commodity accounts. We've got 40 of them, and we want you to do that trading. And so I said, okay, I would. And I said, well, this is what I could do. Well, the first thing that I told me was, look, we have a lot of people in this firm. I think we had 30,000 employees at the time. And he said, our customers, this was Tubby Burnham, he said, our customers are accustomed to losing money, and our customers are accustomed to making money. The one thing that you can't do is if someone wants to do something and they really want to do it, don't talk them out of it, because if it works, they'll never forgive you. Just make sure that they don't lose very much. But the most important thing that you have to remember that you don't want to do, and that is to have the customer lose all their money. And so I set it up. I said, well, if I lose 25%, I'll head out. And I said, what do I do with the clothes? And he said, well, the clothes are yours. He said, by the way, he said, you'll be paying for those clothes over a period of a year or two. We'll take a little bit out every month of your excess commissions, and that way you won't be noticing it, which in fact I really didn't. But that's really how it worked. About the Hollywood Park thing and Santa Anita Racetrack, they had boxes there. They had tickets to the Lakers. They had tickets everywhere. Lakers, oh my gosh, let's see, the Lakers, the Rams, the Dodgers. Anytime you want Dodger tickets, I had no problem with because of Tommy John. But I was able to go to the track and, have a lot of fun. They had a private box there in the turf club. It wasn't at the clubhouse. And so it was really nice. And I enjoyed that very much. And also, Chavez Ravine was a garbage dump, and then they built the Dodger Stadium over it, and it still looks brand new. Even after all this time, it still looks fantastic. They've remodeled it many times, but and that's how I got really lucky, folks. And what happened was I did that. I traded through Conti Commodities from 1960. I was with Clayton Brokerage from 63 to 65 when I met Twentyman, and then Twentyman went over to work at the McCulloch Oil Building when the Conti Commodity came in, and Roy Fassel moved over there to be the head manager, and then I started trading with them in 69. I stayed with them up to 70, until August. Till it must have been sometime in 75. I went out and, just started to do my own thing with the soybeans and stuff with my friend Bob Chaddick, who had been at McCulloch Oil Building and started his own little brokerage firm. And he did really well with that for quite a while. All right, that's pretty much the end of the boys and girls. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, I got a little bit more stories because people have asked me the questions. Back in the early 70s, the most expensive place and the most exclusive place in the western United States to eat was Chasen's Restaurant. It no longer exists, but unless you knew somebody to get a reservation there, you had to wait 3 to 6 months, and that's no joke. That's where basically it took us as a couple to meet the Drexel people in California. That's where they made the offer to me to be a commodity broker for them, and it was a really beautiful place. Two things were very memorable about that. One of them was when they came, we were at the table. There were six of us there, and they made the offer. Say we'll start you, at a, they were saying, what was it? At something like I think he said it was anyway. The number was based on a monthly thing, which was $10,000, and my ex-wife said, he's making 6 times that at Eli Lilly. Why would he do that? And they said, well, that's $10,000 a month, but there's big commissions on top of that. And I'll be darned if it turned out to be okay. But the most memorable part of that dinner was about 3/4 of the way through, the maitre d' came over and asked and had the telephone for me. And so I said, the only person that knew we were there were our children. They were home, and they had a babysitter because they were little. They're only 7 and 8. And so Jill's on the phone. She's 8 years old, and she says, Dad, we had a problem. She said, we got locked out of the house. I said, how did you do that? She said, well, we were playing in the backyard, and the babysitter, I forget which one it was, they locked the door, and so they couldn't get in. I says, well, what'd you do? She says, well, we broke a window. And I said, which window did you break? And she said, did you go through the bathroom window? No, we just broke the window in the patio, which was one of these 8-foot glass deals. I said, oh my gosh. I said, did you get hurt? And no, but I couldn't understand. Well, she's only 8 years old, and she was confused. But why couldn't you break a small, bathroom window to get in? But I remembered that. All right, let's talk about the markets. You don't want to hear this stuff. There's one other. Ruby asked a great question. Ruby says, How would you like to be remembered? Well, I really don't. I feel pretty good about what I've worked, done through the years. I could have done a lot better, that's for sure. But I feel I'm not worried about being remembered because I see what I've helped people with. I mean, look at the people that are on these lists for, trading. I mean, of the top 10 traders, I've worked with 5 of those top 10. Now they don't use all the stuff that I do, and some of those guys have gone far beyond what I do. But I started them, showing him that could be done, and that helped him a lot. Look, there's Steve Rhodes is one. I mean, my gosh, just a whole bunch of them. So, Quay, I don't understand what. Oh, we have somebody on the line here. Oh, I didn't know that. Hello, I'm sorry. What can I do with this from Costa Rica?
Yes, Larry, can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly. I didn't see the post up here. I'm very sorry. How are you doing?
No problem. I was listening to your story, and I've really always enjoyed your background and your history and your stories. So kudos and great life you've had, and God bless you.
Would you have a specific question, my friend?
Yes. My question is, I've heard you several times over the years. I catch you occasionally, and I always hear you say, don't really trade until after 10:30 because let things settle in. I'm not exactly sure how you stated it, but you always stated it clearly for me to understand. Don't start trading until 10:30. Could you tell me why? Could you teach us and teach me personally what your feelings are?
That refers to only one market, my friend, and that is the S&P 500. The most important time is 9:30 to 10:30. That's that first hour. And the reason being is people from the stock market, they put their orders in that first hour of trading, and that's how these algo traders operate. They watch that number very, very closely. So the key time of the day almost always is between 9 o'clock and 10:30. Usually it's done by 10 o'clock, but sometimes it extends out to 10:30. If you're making new highs and new lows after 10:30, it has a high probability, better than 70%, that market's going to continue higher. It might be higher for the rest of the day, but it's going to continue higher for a short period of time.
Okay, yeah. Yesterday was a good example of paying attention to your S&P, 10 to 10:30, because yesterday morning it just started down from 9:30, and it was going down heavy for quite a while. And if I had paid more attention to your trading advice, I was just watching, but had I been in the play game to play a bit of the action, boy, by 9:55, I'm looking at a chart, I'm cheating, but it was down like 3 points, $3 of the S&P yesterday morning, and then at its low at 301.29-ish, that bad boy just started rising all day.
Well, that was a 61% retracement of the previous day's low, right? Exactly at 61%. In fact, it hit it, within a half a point, I believe. It went through a half a point, and then took off. And that was right near that 3,000 level, 3,005. You're correct.
Yeah. Well, you give good advice, but all the guys, Tom has built a great programming for traders, so kudos to him and his son and all you guys.
You're absolutely right about the kudos, because he does a great job, and he's really is concerned about the quality of stuff. So he does a super job with it. That hats off to him, because being in the den, you see some of the stuff that these guys post. That there's some really smart people in that den, and you have to watch what they do, because it's really incredible how they see the market, and they're aware of these numbers too. After anybody that's traded for a long period of time knows the importance of magic time, which is between 9 and 10:30. And watch that. Here we are right now at 9:30. So if the market starts making lower lows, it was down to 30.58. And if we're making lower lows by 10:30, boy, look out. It's got a chance to, be down sharply. So who knows?
Yeah. No, it's a matter of, your wisdom and your background and your history gives you all these beautiful notches to put on your belt for good ideas and how to play the market wisely and intelligently as possible. And that's the key. No guessing. You just use your best probability research and pull the trigger from there.
That's the best. You take your best shot and hope that it's going to work. That's really what you have to do.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, stay healthy, stay well, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. I've been there before down in Costa Rica. Cool place. So enjoy yourself. How are you doing with the virus down there? Is it much in the news or what?
Let me be frank. The reality is I had to leave there in an emergency position on March 27th a few months ago because I caught the second from last plane right out of there. The country was shut down by the president on his orders. So I saw literally a country that went in a vibrant city where I lived in this capital, people by the thousands on the walking streets every day. You know, I love being amongst the thousands of people. And the traffic was unbearable, just traffic jams and taxis everywhere. In a 48-hour period, I'm not kidding, Larry, I saw the place shut down, no taxis anywhere, people walking the street that freaking desperate.
Well, listen, thanks for joining us.
No business, no money, no businesses open.
Wow.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Chart. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're talking with a gentleman from Costa Rica, and he's telling us about how they're handling the COVID crisis down there. Have they opened up any of the country at all yet?
No, Larry. There's right now only very sporadic flights going in, but that's only for their own countrymen that have, ID and are residents. So I'm checking regularly to see. I fly on Spirit, or Delta, but Delta's right now it's not happening. And I was saying before when the break took over, the people there are hurting because they're all small shop owners, and the shops have these giant shutters that close down and protect the glass in the entryway because, well, they have problems in that country with wild renegades breaking in and stealing stuff. They go through the roof now instead of the front doors. But anyway, people's shops were closed down overnight, and the whole thing began to be people without work. They live day to day, and there's a lot of people in the street that are street vendors. And as I had my final 5 days there, people were coming up to me. Men were more aggressive than women, but they were asking for help, anything. Give them any kind of money, just something, because they saw what was coming, and they were showing me the fear that I'd never seen in people's faces before. So it's been months now, so I get letters and emails and WhatsApp email texts from my friends, and they're all just in bad shape. It's bad.
Wow. Well, listen, thanks for telling us all this, and, check in a month and see how it's doing, and if things get better, please let us know.
Amen. Thank you, man. Take care. God bless.
You bet. Thank you for calling in. Okay, folks, we're just broke at 30.55, turning at 30.56 in the S&P. The key time today is 10:30. If we're still lower at 10:30, we're probably going to go lower. So that's basically what we're watching here. The NASDAQ, of course, the key number is 10,040. We're trading at 10,054. So that's another one to keep a close eye on, because below 10,040 suggests another 40 or 50 handles lower in the NASDAQ. So just watch that very closely, folks. When you're a technician, you don't really follow the news very much, but you have things that you can look at. And one of the things that you watch is market feedback. See what's happening in the markets. Which one of the stock indices is the strongest? What numbers are you looking at? Those are the things that you really need to decide whether you're going to be, a buyer or seller. And that's the whole key to what we're looking at here. So it's only probabilities, folks. Remember, that's all it is. It has nothing to do with 100% or right or wrong all the time. It's the amount of money that you don't lose, and that's the key thing. Someone asked me a question right before the break. Was when I first went to work for Drexel, did I feel any pressure? Are you kidding me? I was absolutely overwhelmed because, I had my own office and everything, but this was right in the middle of, L.A. to Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive, Wilshire Boulevard, the whole thing. And, here I am. I wasn't afraid of the protocol that they had, but, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to, perform. And, remember, I was working as a broker with commission, and the Drexel people were paying $60, I think, round turn. You can see what the people are paying now. They're paying 1/10 of that usually, but it was $60 back in the 70s. And I know when I first started out, I had 40 people right off the bat that I'm trading for. I ended up with way over 100 after the few years, but I had started out with 100 people. So with 40 people. So every time I put an order in, it was for 100 contracts. So if I bought 100 contracts of gold, that was, you stop and think 100 contracts at 60, so that's $6,000, and I got 40% of that. So I'm making $2,400 every time I put a trade on. And so I knew how to trade. And a short term, I was very good. All I knew was A, B, C, D, and Fibonacci. That's all I know now, actually. But that's what I did. And I traded A, B, C, D patterns and Fibonacci numbers. And, I started out pretty good. And then I got lucky because the gold was bottoming, or I had already bottomed in 75. And there I was in 76. I had a nice pullback in that first couple of weeks there in late August. And I was able to get in, and I said that's it. And so I started buying more and buying more and buying more, and kept that going for 5 years. Made a lot of money. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. And the question that you asked, of all the stuff that I've ever done, and I've done a lot, trading on the Florida exchange and everything, but those 6 years at Drexel were probably the best 6 years I've ever had. I actually made over 100%, way over 100% a year for 3 years straight, and then I backed off to about 60 to 50%, and then in January of '82, I went to work on the floor of the Merc because I knew this stuff was coming. You'll be able to trade at home, and that's really what happened. So that's the bottom line of some of that. I got other memories, of course, but that's it. So, someone asked a question about the racetrack memories. Folks, when I realized when I was at Drexel, remember I had been going to the track with Nate Cohen and Eddie Horowitz. From the days of McCulloch Oil, but we were sitting way down in the grandstand. We never went to the turf club or the clubhouse. The clubhouse we went a couple times with Nate, but most of the times it was down into the other the grandstand. So when I had a chance to go to the turf club with Drexel, I took that opportunity by myself. I just went down there to see what it was all about. There was their box right there at the turf club, and so I went in, and the guy that told me to go, he said, go see the maitre d' there, Ruben. And it was Ruben Alvarez, who ended up being a very, very close friend over the years. And so first thing I went in is I gave him a $50 bill, and I said, I'd like to, sit at our box. And he said, well, absolutely. $50 was a huge tip. Usually $10 was a good tip. And every time I went there, I would give him a $50 tip. And that's when I started taking customers there, because I took customers there. It was tax deductible. Well, I had to pay for the food and everything. That was taken right off the top. I had to sign my name and my account number at Drexel, and they took it off the top. But it was real easy to do. But I had a really, really good opportunity sometimes to when it was real busy, Ruben would come up and he said, would you mind sharing your box today? Because I would be there by myself or maybe with one other person. And of course, and everybody that he sent there was somebody. It was unbelievable. I mean, he would send one celebrity after another, and I mean, it was a lot of them. And here I am, just a young kid, and I'm seeing this. I said, this is really cool. So I enjoyed that time quite a bit. I usually played the first 4 or 5 races. First was at 1 o'clock, so I was out of there by 3. I had to pick the kids up at Westlake at 3:30 from their day school and stuff, and so that's pretty much what I did, and I had a lot of fun doing it through the years. I got lucky a couple times with the ponies, and that was about it. And I still play them about once every 2 weeks. I find a nag that's running, and lately they are running so bad that it's really, really pretty bad here. I'm probably getting chewed out here for who. No, I never did business with Elliott Gould or Donald Sutherland. I saw Kiefer Sullivan a lot when he was a little boy, but he was just in Beverly Hills as a student. He would be hanging out at the Hamburger Hamlet. So that's all I remember. Okay, 877-927-6648.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The gold report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the gold report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the gold report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The Bull Bear Trading Hour with Tom and Tommy O'Brien. Next.
Okay, folks, the S&P, hold on just a second. We've got a question coming in here this morning. And what is that? Okay, let's move on to the next one here. The S&P, I'll bring this up here. This was the forecast that we're looking at so far this morning. And I want to show you the importance of that 10:30 time frame. Now, this doesn't happen all the time. It just happens to be today, but you'll see that secondary low there at 10:30. That's the key point of the day. If we're trading below 30,000 for 30,000, shut the front door and raise the rent. 3,045 at that time, we're probably going to be down the rest of the day. So watch that key time. It's from 10:30 to 11:30. That's the time where is going to be the important move of the day. So watch it. If you're bearish, what you would like to do is you'd like to see the market making a recovery at 11:30, and because that would be an ideal place to take a look at it. The wheat is looking quite bad this morning. Actually, I haven't looked at it, but we have our stop in. Let's just see what the wheat is doing. We have our stop in. Oh, they almost got us. No, they're another penny or so. It's down 3 cents right now. We bought it at 4.94. It's trading at 4.91. It's just made a new low on the year. Our stop is trading at our stop is at 89, so it's 2 cents away. We're risking 250 on that, but we'll have to see. If you happen to be in the gold, you know we've been very, very bearish the gold ever since we made that big pattern up there at 1792, and it's now trading at 1758. So we want to keep an eye on that one because it could be a big one if it does fulfill the way we think it's going to do. And let us not forget the natural gas, folks. This is one that's really going to be a good one when it works for two reasons. Let me get this up here. I don't know the last price on the natural gas. The last I saw was 153. We're trying to get it down to that 136 level. Whether we get there or not, that's not that far away now. But if it breaks through those triple bottoms down there, it could be very interesting to see what's happening. Yes, you have to. Hey, look, I don't know if the wheat trade's going to work or not, folks. It did get as high as 502. So at one time it had $400 in it, but I had the choice of putting the stop at break even or leaving the stop to where I thought it would be in the best place. And so I picked to stay in the trade. Possibly in retrospect now it'd be really smart to put the stop, at break even. But, I've seen too many times that you put your stop at break even, which happened to be at a fib pullback, and then bada boom, away it went. So that's pretty much, what we're what we're watching here on the week. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if any of these are going to work. That's why you're dealing with probabilities, folks. I mean, honest to goodness. I mean, people ask me, where it's going, and I hate to say it time and time again. I'll say, well, there's a target here, a target there, but these things fail, so you got to be careful. And that's what it's all about. It's all about probabilities. You find the ones that look the easiest to trade, and that's basically the ones. The other day when the Nasdaq on Monday, when we were watching that pattern up there when it was trading at 10,240 or whatever it was. That was a beautiful Gartley pattern after the top and came in. You didn't have to risk very much, only about 20 points on the NASDAQ, which is $400, and 20 points in the NASDAQ is usually not enough. You have to risk usually about 60 handles, or excuse me, it's not 60, but 40 handles, around $800, because it jumps around so very, very much. So that's what we're watching. But remember, I'm looking when I see these things. In fact, there's a perfect example. Is in the wheat. We did make a new low. We've taken out the low. We haven't crashed down as of yet, but it's still early. Let's see where we are now. We're trading at 91. The low has been 90 and a half, so we're half a cent away. But that's a new low ground. The S&P now, you see it's breaking sharply below the 55 level, which is the key level. But look at the NASDAQ. When it broke below 1040, we've already dropped 40 handles. We got down to 10,000. So that's telling you that market is under a great deal of pressure. Now, if you want to buy it, sure, you can buy it, but where do you put your stop? You have to decide, what you're going to use for a stop. And that's what short-term trading is all about, is you've got to be able to put a stop in on this. And so what I do is I wait to see how these things are unfolding. And if they unfold in the right direction, then I think we'd be looking at something pretty good. So that's what I'm watching. That's neither here nor there. Here's a perfect example. I'll give you an example here of something that's coming up. Whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know. But let me just get this up here and take a quick look at it, because this is what get this up here. Just one second. I want to show you what the AI is showing here for gold, because here's going to be a perfect example of what you want to be watching here in the gold market. You'll see here the key time is going to be at 10:15. So that's basically going to be in about a half an hour. Watch the gold around 10:15. If it makes some type of a bottom for you, the forecast for gold is up pretty much the rest of the day. So that's what you're trying to look at. That's all I'm trying to do. A little bit at a time. $10 make a dime, folks. $10 make a dime. Hold on here. All right, just set right here. And if you bought the S&P at I hope if you bought it at 1045, Ruby, you've got a big winner there. You should take your profits if you bought the S&P at 1045. The last time it was there, I was on the floor of the Mercantile. No, it was trading at 103 when I first started trading the S&P, not 1003. So I think you mean 3045 is what I think you mean. There you go. I knew you'd make the correction. And let's see how we're doing so far here. We'll take a quick look at this. Look at this, Ruby. You nailed it already. It's 30.50. So now you've got a risk-free trade, in my opinion. So that's what we're paying attention to. Let's look at one other thing, and that is the banking index, because that is one that I really think means a lot. Let's get this up here, and you'll be able to see it, because it made a beautiful ABCD pattern up there at the top. And you'll see that was up at 92. We're now trading down around 77. So that tells us that's a major Gartley pattern in a bear market, folks. Exact, perfect 61% retracement, perfect ABCD, mother, God, and country. That's what you were looking for, and that's pretty much what happened. And remember, it's making lower lows here, with the market making higher highs, and a lot of that was related to Apple and some of the other stuff. So we'll see, how these things actually work. Those stress tests, I don't trust those things, boys and girls. That's not what I do. I'm a technician, so I don't listen to, the malarkey and all the stuff that's going on in the world. It makes it a little bit more difficult. Unfortunately, I have to see some of it because it's in the news all the time, but that's the main thing. Okay, let's think about the markets here. Oh, we only got a minute to go. Remember, folks, on Monday, the 22nd, the 29th is going to be none other than Norman, who calls it to the minute. Winsky will be on, and so that'll be an interesting one to pay attention to, because Norm always has some good stuff. We missed him on the last lunar cycle back on the 12th because we were oversubscribed with listeners, and we will have Bill Cerubi. Bill Meridian will be on next week because he just did a cycles program for the Foundation for the Study of Cycles, and that was very good. It was also who else did it? It was I can't remember who it was with. Anyway, it was Bill Cerubi and somebody else yesterday, and I happened to miss it, but I'll be getting the replay of it pretty soon here. If you do want that replay of that Cycles program, folks, I think you could probably find it on YouTube, or you can just email me and I'll forward the link to you, and you can do it yourself. 877-927-6648.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Bam! If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, it looks like we made some type of a double bottom on a small time frame of The E-mini S&P at 30.45. We're trading at 30.50. The NASDAQ broke through par at 1,000. We're now trading at 1,020. Now watch that price of 1,040, 1,050 in that NASDAQ, because if we get above that, that means it's going to have a chance to hold, because that's a 50% retracement of the low of yesterday. So it's a nice double bottom, a nice little ABCD pattern there. So 1,000 is a very, very important number in that NASDAQ this morning based on the early indications of what we're looking at right now, as is the price of 30.45 in the S&P. The crude oil, we had a little bit of a break last night from 39.30 down to 38.20. We rallied back 38% at 38.60. We're now trading at 38.37, and that has a downward bias for the day. We'll see whether it continues or not, but we'll be able to take a look at it. We got down as low as 489.5 in the is it 489? Yeah, 489.5. Now our stop was at 489 in the wheat. So right now we're out 3.5 cents, which is $175. So we had to be keeping our stop working in there just in case it goes down below 389. We don't want to be involved in the wheat. It might turn from there, but at that point, who cares? Because it's violated the numbers that we're looking at. And remember, you don't make your money by wishing and hoping. You make your money by executing. There's two things that you got to remember when you're trading, folks. It's defense and also offense. And defense is more important because you have to protect, your capital. And that's if you have that, you're always able to put another trade on. If you don't put the stop on, you're telling the market that, by golly, I know more than the market, and away they go. We got down to 89.25. We'll be out of this so wheat here while we're on the air here, unfortunately, but that's the way the trading gods go. But we'll work on that later on and find another entry point in the wheat if it shows up in the next few days. But right now, you don't want it to go below 489. That's the main thing. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.